Hey, this is Barrett, Engineering Manager for CorkSport Mazda Performance. And today we're sitting in our 2018 Mazda 3 Turbo Test Mule. In this video, I want to show you how to initially set up your electronic boost controller for the CorkSport Turbo Kit. CorkSport is utilizing a TurboSmart electronic boost control system so that we can program and control the wastegate duty cycle and ramp rate for the boost of the turbocharger. It is important to watch this video in its entirety to see the initial setup steps and operational parameters. It is important that you follow the parameters as defined in the installation instructions. Failure to do so may result in incorrect boost and operational issues. This video is for instructional purposes only. The parameters used are for demonstration purposes and may not be the same as what's defined in the install instructions. So please refer to those for the correct parameters. So now we're going to adjust the viewpoint of the camera for you so that you can see how to adjust and control the boost controller for the car. In order to set up the settings and parameters in the eBoost controller, the vehicle needs to have the key on or the engine running. So you can see here that we have the controller set up in our center console. This controller can go anywhere in your vehicle that you may choose or is easy to access. You can hide it like we did here. You can have it up on the dash and use it as a boost display. So what you're seeing here is the normal operating display. This is the boost pressure that it is currently reading, which is 0, also known as atmospheric. If we were idling with the engine on, you would see a negative number around negative 20, 21. That is the vacuum. So first we'll set up the main menu settings. To enter the main menu, you will push and hold the knob for 3 seconds. So then you're going to see some numbers and letters show up. This is Boost Group 1, BG1. This is where you'll set up the boost control parameters, which we'll cover later in the video. Turning the knob, you'll see Boost Group 2. This is the same as Boost Group 1, but gives you the ability to have 2 pre-programmed settings in the boost controller at all times. We'll turn the knob one more time. Here you will see OBS flashing with a number. OBS is the overboost protection parameter. To enter the parameter, press the knob once, and you'll see the number flashing. This means that we can manipulate this parameter, so we can adjust this number up and down. We're going to put that back at 10.5 and then press the button again to exit that parameter. So when we adjust this, we are adjusting the parameter that the boost controller will attempt to cut boost if we reach that number. So at 10.5 psi, the boost controller will pull all wastegate duty cycle and attempt to protect the engine from overboosting. Now we'll move to the next. This is cylinder, and in this parameter we want the number 4 showing. If it is not showing, you'll want to press it, adjust, press to exit. This is the number of cylinders that our engine has, which is 4, and correlates with the boost controller's ability to read RPM signal. Moving on, SCL, verify this is in PSI. This is our units. If it's not, again, press it, adjust. It can be in KPA, it can be in bar, it can be in PSI. Next is DNN. This is the dimmer. You can leave this at 3 or adjust it as you like for brighter or darker. AU is not used. So then we have SL showing this is switch logic. We're also not using that. And then you have correction. So this is a correction feature that is going to be utilized. Make sure that that is on. It may be off. Adjust that to on, then exit. Then you can proceed with PLN. This is a security pin that is not being used. RL is not being used. SOL, this is a solenoid test feature. So once the EBCS is installed in the engine bay, you can use this feature to test that it is functioning correctly. With key on and engine off, press the knob once, and you should hear the EBCS click 4 times slowly. If you do not hear the clicks, test again with someone next to the EBCS to hear it better. If you still do not hear it, then verify your wiring for the EBCS and boost controller is correct. So next, we'll move on. ZER is 0 offset. You typically do not need to adjust this. RES is a factory reset. If you press this, this will reset everything that you've set up in your boost controller back to the factory parameters. Then lastly, we'll go to end. To end or exit the main menu, you can press the button here. And now we're at our main menu display showing boost pressure. You can also, assuming you're back in the main menu, at any point in time in here, you can hold the knob again for 3 seconds and it'll exit back to the main display. So we're back to our main display showing boost pressure. This is how the boost controller will normally display in operation. So now we're going to adjust our boost group settings. These are the settings that directly control the boost control solenoid and therefore control boost pressure. So again, hold for 3 seconds to enter the main menu. Now these two, boost group 1 and boost group 2, we're going to enter parameters into both of those. So to enter, you're going to click once, and you'll see our first parameter click up, which is set point. So set point 1 is the wastegate duty cycle that the boost controller will command initially. So to go in here, you're going to adjust these numbers. Ours is currently set at 25, but again, refer to the installation instructions for these parameters. So you can adjust the number while it's flashing, then click to exit. Turn the knob to go to the next parameter. GP1 is gate pressure. This affects the sensitivity of the boost controller at building boost initially. So how fast the boost controller is going to want to spool the turbo from no boost up to some boost. We don't want the turbo to spool too quickly, as it can with this setup, so we're going to set that at 0.5. Again, refer to your installation instructions for the exact parameter. SN1 is the boost control sensitivity. This affects how fast the controller adjusts wastegate duty cycle through the RPM range. FAC is the fractional increase in boost correction. This controls how much wastegate duty cycle is added through the RPM range. So this correlates with the correction feature that we saw in the main menu. If the correction feature is off, FAC will not be present. So FAC is important because it allows us to add in more wastegate duty cycle as RPM increases, therefore allowing us to add boost as RPM increases. RP1 is the starting engine RPM that the FAC will start working. So at 4,000 RPM, which 40 correlates to 4,000 RPM, the FAC boost correction will start adding in wastegate duty cycle. Moving to RP2, this is the ending engine RPM for the FAC feature. So at 5,800 RPM, our FAC will stop adding wastegate duty cycle. Lastly, at the end, again, we can click that and we'll exit. And now that we have made changes to our boost group 1, we'll want to hold for 3 seconds to exit, and that will save our parameters that we have changed. Now, you've set up your boost group 1, you'll want to go back into the main menu, go to boost group 2, and add in the exact same parameters you just set up for boost group 1. Now the reason to set up the same parameters in boost group 1 and boost group 2 is it is easy to think you're in the right boost group and you may not be. So if you set them both up the exact same, then you know no matter what, you have the correct settings in the boost controller for the turbo kit.